What's going on, guys? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad Smith, and I'm your host of Everything OTCs, which are over-the-counter stocks. Coming to you a little bit later tonight. We had a lot going on today, but just talking about two stocks in particular that I am watching right now and that I see value in, kind of like break that down and to show you how I find value in stocks that might have 100% or more potential within the OTC. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it does happen pretty often. That's just the volatility and the nature of this beast that we call the OTC, and I would like to show you how I find value in these stocks. And do they all play out exactly how we would love them to? No, absolutely not. Which is why I want to preface this by saying I don't suggest that you get into the same stocks that I'm getting into. That's not what this is about. That's not what this channel is for. It's for you to be able to learn how to do this all on your own so that you can become a proficient trader and hopefully enjoy over-the-counter stocks like I do. And so with that, if you're joining me for the first time, I suggest that you check out the chat here. At the end of all my live streams, I like to go through and just kind of answer some questions for you guys. If you have questions just about over-the-counter stocks, if you have questions just about tonight's topic, whatever, I'd be happy to answer them for you in that chat over there. So go ahead and I'll welcome everybody here. What's going on, Alan, Jake, Julie, some familiar faces here. Eric, roll that beautiful bean footage. What the heck? Hey, Bassmaster, thanks for the donation, buddy. I appreciate it. Every little bit counts. Everyone, a little late, but I made it. Yeah, me too. So let's see. Hit the like button. Well, don't hit it yet. I want you to hit that like button if you actually do like this video. I don't want likes on here just for the sake of getting likes. But Coach D from Houston. Man, I was just in Houston. Well, I can't say I was just in Houston, but I was in Houston 6 months ago to help out you guys that were affected by Harvey. So Houston's a good town. So welcome to the show. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the two stocks that I'm looking at, one's going to be a familiar one. That's GMOS. It's one I've been saying that they recently received custodianship, and it looks like there were some reinstatements that went on and active today on Nevada Secretary of State. So I want to be able to show that to you, and that I still see value in that stock in particular. And there's another one that's going to be one SODE. SODE is actually one that I'm not characteristically get into, but I'm intrigued by it, and I want to go ahead and see where it goes based off of the buying and all that happened today. So we'll go over that. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. First live event I watched. Awesome. So welcome, Baldermo. I hope I didn't butcher that name. So I'm going to share my screen here right now, and I will bring you to this. So this is SODE. So what intrigued me about this was up 69% today. I got in at 20 cents. I think it was a little bit high, honestly, but for me, I think that the momentum and the buying power here was pretty solid, and it looks like they're having some pretty decent bids going on. It looks like I found some due diligence on here that they're looking to get uplisted to the OTCQX. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, the OTCQX is just another uplisting, and usually after OTCQX, the NASDAQ is after that. So then they'll actually start to be traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So I think that's the direction that they're headed, and that uplisting could mean potential potential catalyst for it to continue to run. So it looks like it did here. It's a very thin stock, and one thing that I want you to be careful of if you do get into this, I didn't get into this very heavy, just because it doesn't look like it's trading very liquid, and the spread on this is pretty wide. Now we can't really look at the spread after hours because they're not that realistic. Sometimes spreads get wonky and whatever else, but like this had spreads of about 4 cents or so. So when I say spread, that means that on the bid, let's just say it was around 20 cents, and then the ask price was around 24 cents, sometimes even 25 cents. And so that spread kind of like scares some people away, because you might not be able to get out of it at a price point that you wanted to because that spread's so wide and it's not a very liquid stock. But with the amount of chatter that was going on this and with the uplisting, I'm just waiting to see. This is kind of an experiment for me, just to kind of see where we go from here after the uplisting. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know how I did with that. I can show you how I found that on how I saw this here on TradingView. So this TradingView is another resource that I use to chart. I don't see any distinct patterns here other than this uptrend that happened within the last couple of days. I think we should continue to see this uptrend continue, and I don't think that hopefully that uplisting means that more buyers will be coming in and will cause this stock to thin out a little bit and trade a little bit more in a tighter range than it is right now. But the more important one that I really wanted to kind of hammer home a little bit was GMOS, because this was one that I told you guys was a stock to watch back in May. And it looks like we're continuing on with that in June. We saw highs of 18 cents today. As you guys know, I got in around 9 cents on this one. And the reason that I got into this was because of the custodianship, and not just the custodianship, but who was getting the custodianship. And for those of you who've been following my channel for a while, Joseph Acaro is a monster, is a juggernaut in the OTC. Whenever he takes over a company, it always means good things. And this particular company has been taken custodianship by his lawyer, which might not sound like a big deal to you because, like, who cares? It's his lawyer. But when you think about it, his lawyer is the one that's really done all the custodianship court cases and all that for all the ones that Joseph Acaro has, taken care of. So CYPE is one of the most recent ones that come to mind. LRDR is another one a lot of us have played and made a ton of money on. CYPE just got done finalizing a merger with a multi-billion-dollar company, which caused that stock to run up from a half a penny to 60 cents, which is just insane. So that's why I'm holding on to my shares here. I'm waiting to see what's going on. And in particular, this is the reason why. So also, if you guys are familiar with my channel, this is the Nevada Secretary of State. I always look for reinstatements here. And this actually just showed up on the Nevada Secretary of State today. But it looks like the file date was on the 1st. They are now reinstated, and as you guys know why I love reinstatements, because it usually means that catalysts are right around the corner that could potentially cause this stock to run. I just give you an example of a recent reinstatement play that I shouted out to you guys was MCGI, that went from 0004 that we got into and now has been bouncing around between 0025 and 0030 we saw highs of. And we're still waiting, and they're still looking to get current. They've been consistently coming out with filings to get current. Then once they get current, I think we'll see even more catalysts from them. But again, that's the patterns that I see when it comes to trading fundamentals like this. So when you're looking at something like reinstatements, then you're like, okay, where do we go from here? And it all starts with, the history too of these plays. That's why, like, I tend to lean towards Joseph Acaro and stuff like that. So that's how I see value in certain stocks, and that's why I like to get into them when nobody else is looking at them, right? So when you're looking at something like GMOS, and I was shouted it out, I think I shouted out GMOS, and I got into that back in late April actually. And that's how you find these bottom plays when nobody else is looking at them, and you're looking at something like, okay, well, I know the history of Joseph Acaro and what he's done with a lot of stocks, and his lawyer shouldn't be any different. And it's starting to look like we're going to see mirrors of that happen. Joseph Acaro loves to buy these shells up and merge them with other companies. I have to have reason to believe that perhaps this is going to follow suit with that, and later on down the road, once they get current after now this recent reinstatement, that perhaps that may be a potential catalyst down the road. So is this something that I'm going to be day trading? No. If you're just following me on my channel, I don't really day trade that much. I buy into these stocks as investments to potentially capitalize on catalysts that occur later on down the road. So I've been in the stock for almost 6 weeks now, and it's starting to look like it's really heating up here now. So that is how I find value in stocks. That's how I sort these out. The other thing, if you guys were looking in the beginning of this video, the platform that I was using to show you SODE was equityfeed.com, or EquityFeed is the software. But if you go to equityfeed.com, that is my the scanner that I think that is the best scanner that's out there that money can buy, whether it's OTCs or anything else. But specifically OTCs, I love EquityFeed, and that's how I find a lot of these stocks. And I've shown you guys how I have my setups and everything else. So you can check that out. If you are interested in an Equity Feed subscription, you can use my referral code, which is Brad Smith, and get 10% off your first month subscription. You know, they don't pay me to do that or anything. It's just a referral code. It's just something simple. But, you know, if you look to use it, why not get the 10% off, right? So anyway, hope that was easy to understand. You know, it's really not that complicated. I just like, part of this is just experience, and you know, I don't have too much of it compared to like somebody like my mentors that we even have in our group. And if you're not part of our group, we have a networking platform within Discord. There's a link in the description for Discord as well. I encourage you to get, but I don't profess to be the best trader there is, but you know, I do find success. And there are traders within our group who trade way better than I do, and I just love the fact that we have them there and we can bounce ideas off of them, especially when, you know, we don't know where else to go. They provide a great amount of value, and I can't thank them enough for being willing to be a part of the team and helping people learn and grow. It's been pretty awesome. So anyway, just going to look through as I usually do for comments here. Want to go ahead and answer some of your questions. So somebody said GMOS was my friend today, so that's good to hear. Jason just donated to my channel $10. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I always like to shout those folks out that you know, support my channel. Really do appreciate that. I don't know if this question is relevant, but King of Trey says, when are you coming to Atlanta to pop a beer and smoke one? I'm hoping you mean cigars, because everybody knows that I'm a pretty big cigar aficionado. So you know, I'd love to be able to start thinking about maybe coming around and visiting you guys. That would be awesome. You know, that's not going to be in the immediate future, but I really would love to do that one day. Just kind of travel around and meet you guys. That would be great. So anyway, just kind of looking to see if there's any relevant questions. You're lucky that I actually repeated that one. Congratulations on the tremendous success of your group. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. When you come into Houston, everybody wants me to come visit them. MSPC, I'm not an MSPC anymore. I just grew tired of it. I don't know what the heck's taking so long with them trying to get current. I mean, it didn't seem like it was that much of a big deal, and all of a sudden it seemed like it is. And I don't like the way that smells. So I actually got out of MSPC. I cut some losses on that. I'll admit to you that I got back in on that 0009, and I just cut my losses at 0006 and said forget it. You know, I didn't want to waste any more time with it. So whatever your risk tolerance is, you know, maybe they will get current, and maybe they'll have major catalysts come on down in the future. But for me, I just saw me being able to spend that money somewhere else for it to work for me better than what MSP was doing for me at the moment, MSPC. But you never know. Maybe I'll get back into it when I have money that I don't really care what happens to it. So, you know, but you have to make that decision for yourself and what your risk tolerances are and that sort of thing. So, finally made it to your live watch, Fidel. Hey, what's going on, man? DD video. I feel like I just did a DD video, but I mean, maybe if you're a little bit more specific, I can help. When will you be in Frederick, Maryland for lunch? I mean, I'm in, you know, live in the Carroll County area, so I'd be happy to come up to Frederick. Just hit me up. You can send me a direct message or whatever, and we can meet somewhere for lunch. I'd be happy to meet one of my followers. It'd be great. If you invested $10,000 in January, you would have had 1081. Vin said that? If you invested $10,000 in January, you would have 1081 now. I think that's a side conversation. BGFT, I'm not sure of. Do you agree with the potential evaluations that people are making on CMGO? I don't know what anybody else is making on CMGO, but I'm still in it. For me, nothing's changed. The settlement's still going on. There's still negotiations, and I'm not selling anything because nothing's happened yet. There's no negative catalysts that have appeared. There's no positive catalysts that appeared. So all this selling that's been going on, that's just people getting nervous and scared or bored. One of those three things. And so for me, I'm just staying the course. I have a plan that I'm sticking to, and I'm not going to deviate from that. So next question: how do you find Akara or Bauman potential stocks before custodianship happens or reinstatements? Eric, so if you go back and search out my video for stocks to watch for in May, and I guarantee you'll be able to find your answer there. There was plenty of time to get into this stock before now, and in my opinion, you still might have time to get into it, but depending on what catalysts might come on this. I think it closed somewhere around 12 or 13 cents today. Like I said, I got in around 9, and it's been fluctuating pretty wildly, just because it's a really low float stock. So that's why it has. So you might see an opportunity to get in at some point if you see value in it. But if you just keep an eye on it. If you are comfortable with the price point and you have the risk tolerance to be like, yes, I see value in this, I want to get in it, then make that decision. When is a good time to use Pacer? So Pacer provides you with like a 14-day free trial. What the heck was that? Free trial. Pacer, for those of you who don't know, is like a court case, service where you can search out court cases that are made public, and there's a fee for that. I think it's like $50 a month. It's not cheap. So I guess that'll just be up to you. When are you seeing value in spending the money on Pacer? And I think that's just going to be what you decide on. Can you afford something like that? And do you see the value in it paying for itself every month? Then sure. But I actually don't subscribe to Pacer. I do utilize Investors Hub when people post stuff from Pacer, just because I don't see the value in it yet. Maybe I will later on down the road, but $50 a month, I mean, I don't know. I find that the money that I pay in equity fee pays for itself every month, but I can't justify it for Pacer just yet. So, whatever. Do you have a video for identifying pullbacks or reversals? I don't, but that's a good suggestion. Maybe I should do one of those. Somebody said MCGI. I already mentioned that. All right. Do you post your green days? Yeah, I post my green days and my red days. So don't have any problem doing that. We're all human, and sometimes we make mistakes, and it just is what it is. So, okay. About how many stocks do you get in on your radar at any one time? So right now, I'm currently invested in 10 different stocks at 10 different positions I have currently within the OTC. I'm not going to run them all down right now because I don't have them all on top of my head. I probably have most of them, but do you have a video on your favorite whiskey? That's hilarious. Jack Daniels is probably my favorite whiskey. There's also a local whiskey around here. It's called Sagamore Rye. That's pretty awesome. For those of you who don't know who Sagamore is, or Sagamore Rye whiskey, just think Kevin Plank, and that's his whiskey that he has. It's pretty awesome stuff. It's pretty expensive, but it's worth it. So anyway, guys, I think we're getting a little bit off topic. Sorry about that, but just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I do appreciate you tuning in. For those of you who are visiting me for the first time, I hope that I earned your subscription. And if you click that subscription, don't forget to tap on that notification bell so that you get notified every time I go live. And then also like this this video if you learned something today. I always appreciate that small little bit of support by liking this video, if you would not mind. And if you're interested in following me on any kind of social media, I'm all over the place. I'm at Own the Chaos on Twitter, at Own the Chaos on Instagram, and what else? Oh, WeTrade. Duh. So I'm building a platform. Me and my partner Jake are building a platform. It's called WeTrade HQ. If you're not signed up for WeTrade HQ yet, please do, so you'll get notified when we go live, and you also get newsletters updating you on how close we are to going live. It's actually very close. I would say probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we will be live and ready to go, so you guys can utilize WeTrade HQ. It's not going to be just for OTCs. It's going to be for anybody who trades any style of trading, whether it's crypto, big board stocks, OTCs, it doesn't matter. Forex, it's all going to be there for you, and I can't wait to get that started. So Anyway, I will see you all before the bell as always, and B Smith is out. Thanks, guys.